Hi everyone, so you see I got my Spider-Man shirt on, which means we're going to talk about The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now, I never reviewed the first Amazing Spider-Man, you can check that out literally on my channel, I talk about my feelings about it and so forth. So, but in shorter words, I love the first Amazing Spider-Man, and when it came to the second one, you know, I had high expectations because, I love the first one so much. I'm a huge, huge Spider-Man fan, fan of the comics, the cartoons, the video games, whatever. And so I went into this one with, tons of anticipation. And I got to tell you, I was more than, happy. I was, this really exceeded my expectations because I love the first Amazing Spider-Man a lot, but I love to see more. This movie just blew my mind, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's The Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's directed by Mark Webb once again. It stars Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone and Sally Field and all of them. And this time around, we've got Jamie Foxx as Electro, Paul Giamatti as the Rhino, and Dane DeHaan as the Green Goblin, aka Norman Osborn. I mean Harry Osborn. Sorry, little. It's a long night, man. So the story of the movie is that Peter Parker's friend Harry Osborn is back in town, and he's about to take in charge for Oscorp, and he starts to figure things about Oscorp. Somehow that connects with Peter Parker's father and what happened all those years ago. And at the same time, he's dealing with stuff with, Gwen and sort of their relationship troubles about their will they, won't they type thing. And at the same time, he meets Max Dillon, who is this guy that worships Spider-Man and a really sort of creepy stalker vibe. And, one day, Dillon becomes the villain Electro. So what I liked about this Spider-Man was that, for me, this was more like Spider-Man than I think the first one was, because, I remember, reading the Spider-Man comics and seeing just, tons of bad guys on it, and how Spider-Man had to defeat them, and at the same time, it also, sort of touched base on, the real, importance of which were his relationships with Gwen and Harry Osborn and so forth, and that's really what this movie captured really perfectly, I think. And at the same time, this movie just has a lot better action this time around. The way they do Spidey sense is awesome, especially in 3D. And the costume is redesigned. It looks more like the Ultimates. And just there's a lot of cool Spidey POV shots. It really has raised the bar from the first movie, and that's what makes it so great. Performances are top notch. Andrew Garfield, once again, he is perfect as Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man. M. Stone as Gwen Stacy, she killed it. She was awesome. Dane DeHaan as Harry Osborn, aka the Green Goblin, he stole the show. He was awesome. I thought he did a great job as both of them, and especially when it turns into the Green Goblin, his transformation is crazy. It's creepy and it's awesome. And he had Jamie Foxx as Electro, and I thought Electro was done really well. I mean, especially the design of Electro, because in the comic books, Electro has straight up yellow and green tights, and I like that. This time around they went for the Ultimate / MTV Electro design, which makes sense because you can't really do the green and yellow tights thing in a movie. You just can't. It's kind of impossible to do. And even Paul Giamatti as the Rhino, I thought he was alright. I mean, a lot of people sort of give him shit because they're like, oh, he overacted and things like that. And for me, look, you can't really do much with the Rhino. I mean, the Rhino in the comic books was just an angry thug who wanted revenge against Spider-Man, and that's what he is in this movie. And, he's not in the movie much as I can for 5 minutes. And I just always saw the Rhino as just like the muscles of the Sinister Six, and that's pretty much how they use him. Which brings me to another point. This Spider-Man movie really sort of establishes its huge universe in a really good way, because you'll see some really cool Easter eggs about some certain characters and some certain storylines that I'm not going to give away because I'd be a dick for doing that. But all I can say is it's just plain awesome. So there's that, and the score. Hans Zimmer's score is phenomenal. I thought, for me at least, it felt like Spider-Man. It's like when I heard the Spider-Man theme, I was like, that's Spider-Man, And I really liked his Electro theme, which people hate the Electro theme because it's all dubstep. I think it works because it doesn't sound like the typical sort of supervillain theme. It sounds different. It sounds like Electro, and I like that. And the Green Goblin theme is pretty cool too. and even the Alicia Keys Kendrick Lamar song that plays at the end of the movie I really like. Um, so there's that though, and I guess my only fault with the movie is that I didn't get really enough of the Green Goblin, and I know he's there sub for the Sinister Six, which I'm glad at least glad at least he's coming back. Which a lot of people say it's kind of like Spider-Man 3, how there's too many bad guys, and I don't really think Spider-Man 3's problem was that there were too many bad guys. I just think that there were tons of bad guys that really didn't get their payoff. I think you can have tons of bad guys and not give them enough screen time as long as you know that they are going to come back in a future movie. In this case, they are. So they don't feel like a waste to me. And the way things ended, I had a big smile on my face. I was just like, yeah, that's awesome. So that was that, and I felt really thrilled about it. And stay during the end credit sequence of the movie, because you do get a sort of a tease about the future of the Spider-Man movies. That's all I will say. And there's a cool little end credit sequence that's about X-Men, which the X-Men and Spider-Man, they're not going to do like a movie together. It's not we're going to see a team up. But if you just want to stay and see a really cool X-Men scene, then it doesn't hurt. You know what I mean? But anyways, the Amazing Spider-Man 2, I thought it was a step up from the first movie. It's got better action. It's got great acting. It blew me away. And I was like, and once again, I felt like this was Spider-Man. Like, I mean, I know some people out there are going to be like, no, Spider-Man, no, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies are so good, and blah, 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 blah. And look, for me, this one was just more faithful to the comic books. I had better acting, better action. It was just, for me, it's Spider-Man. So I think I'm just going to give The Amazing Spider-Man 2 an A. I suggest you check it out if you want to. And so yeah, that's my 2 cents on The Amazing Spider-Man 2. So comment, subscribe below, and tell me what you thought about the movie.